Hi, Brian Hawkins with Next Step Survival, and I'm out here in the Michigan rain in November to give you a quick, honest review of the 3V Paratus 72-hour operator's pack. And I've had this pack here for a couple of years at this point. It's been out in the woods with me many times, several overnighters. It's got a lot of miles on it, and it's still holding up great. So it's an inexpensive solution for anything like a 72-hour bag, bug out bag, get home bag, whatever you want. So I've got it stuffed full. You can see my 4-season sleep system on the top there, and it's just packed for winter overnighters out in the woods. That's what I have it packed for. So it's just stuffed almost beyond capacity. I don't have any molly other than what's on there, but I'm going to go ahead and bring you down to ground level and show you what I have inside and show you how this bag stands up. Well, the first thing I want to do is get this thing opened up and get my padding out so I can sit on that wet log, but I guess I'll show you the size. So this is the entire pack without my sleep system attached. Those were sitting, were attached with these top D-rings. It's pretty convenient for attaching sleep systems, bed rolls, sleeping pads, that type of thing. And it's made of 600D PVC backed polyester, and like I said, I've had it for a couple of years. It's held up really well. It comes with these 2 molly pouches, as well as this rapid deployment pack. It's a waist pack. It's also attached with molly, and I've used that as well, separating it, go out with a day hike as a waist pack. So it's pretty cool. But let me go ahead and get this thing set up with the get me set up so I can sit down. It's got these compression straps, 2 of them, top and bottom. It opens up about that much, so you've got quite a bit of access to it, but it's not clamshell. And it's got a front pocket as well. So let me get my little pad out here first. Alright, no sense in getting all wet here. We're sitting up in the rain with underneath a hasty tarp shelter I threw together. After this video, I'm gonna go out a little bit and set up a my preferred hammock and tarp shelter. So this is set up right now for Michigan winters, so 4 season. That's hard to do with, or it's hard for me to do using a hammock. But I do not like the ground. I have a 4-season Scorpion 3 tent, and it's pretty heavy. So I prefer sleeping in a hammock. I get a lot better night's sleep. So first of all, what I have here is just a jungle blanket by Snug Pack, and this is nice and warm. Hammock under blanket. This is also by Snug Pack. There are other options. This is one of the least expensive ones, and I've used this and probably down to 0, and I felt comfortable, not cold at all. Well, until in the morning you have to get up. My preferred tarp at this time right now is just the one that out of the ones that I own is the AquaQuest Sil Nylon, and I'll put a link to it in the description with this. This is what I'm getting ready to set up. So it's quite a bit in there already that you can see. This is this is my, I'm not going to be able to remember the brand of this, am I? But this is my hammock system using whoopee strings, and it's all set up for rapid deployment. Everything's already attached and everything, and so that's in here. This is for another video, but as you can see, all the stuff's fitting in here quite nicely. My water. This is pretty cool. It's a Lucy light. You blow it up. It charges from the sun, solar, and man, I'll tell you, this stays on all night long. I usually attach this to my ridge line, and it stays good until morning. I charge it in the day. It's good for the next day. Gomboy, I believe this is the mini, but Gomboy saw, processing wood. Inexpensive Mora. I got the carbon steel version, and comes with its own ferro rod attached to it. I have another video on these survival packs that I put together, and so I'm not going to go over this entire thing, but I keep quite a bit of survival gear all in a separate pack. Now, when I was carrying, when this was my primary 72-hour bag, and I go out on the trail with it, I didn't have everything in this pack. I didn't see any need to move everything around just for the sake of a video, or a little weekend adventure. But this would have normally, when this contents of this, I would have put in this rapid deployment pack. And the purpose of that is, if I've got to, you can see I overload my bag, so if I've got to get out of Dodge and I just don't have, I can't run with this, you know, however heavy I have this, and I need to get out, I just detach this rapid deployment pouch or bag, and this would have everything that this has. This is, you know, with the where you can just rip it. You know, it's got the rip detachment on it. So, and also generally I could have put this on the molly, on the, you know, right here. While I'm at it, I have had this attached here in the past as well, pouch just like this for a first aid kit, and this is really one of the only drawbacks to this pack that I can think of, and it's setting up these. The molly webbing on here are not consistent. It's coming up at an angle, and that's causing these end the slots in the webbing here, the end ones are very, very tight. I mean, it is hard to get this in there, and I need these outside ones for a pack this size. So I've done it several times. I have, you know, with needle nose pliers, and I'm telling you, it's quite a job. Somehow, miraculously, these things never ripped. So they're stitched, heavy-duty stitching. So I have to give 3V credit for that. They've done a fine job with all the stitching all the way around here. Everything seems they're all double stitched and everything. So even with me cramming these straps in here and getting in there with needle nose pliers and pulling them through, that's kind of a pain in the butt, and I wish they would have thought that out a little bit better, but overall it works. The way I have it, it's always a challenge for northern winters for a single pack. For me it is. So this would, if I was using this today, this would be in the bag, or actually probably my first aid kit would go in the bag. I'd have everything in my rapid deployment pack, and as full as it is, there's not room for a lot of food in here. I've done also on previous videos where I make these food pouches, and this is way over 72 hours. I actually have my lunch in here right now that I'm getting ready to cook up, but it's got these straps here. So I would just strap this, as big as it is, I would attach this. It's called a, what is this thing called? I can't think of the name of it. But, oh, sustainment pouch, sorry. But I would attach this sustainment pouch to the outside of the bag, just to resolve that. Now that's in the winter time. Summertime is summer, spring, fall. I wouldn't have all this gear. It wouldn't be necessary. It's like the 4-season sleep system that I have here. I would just have a bedroll. And I wouldn't need under quilt and all that type of thing. So at that point, I would just probably be able to fit the food inside the bag. In fact, I know I can because I've done it in the past. Not with that particular bag, but I've always done it. And this is just a weekender warmers. It's 2 toe warmers, body warmers, and hand warmers. So and that's it for these larger pouches. And then all I have here is I usually stay consistent with what I put, you know, quick access. This is a Petzl headlamp. Airplane there, I hope it's not getting in the way. Are you hearing me here? There's nothing in this one. This has got some pretty decent organization in this rapid deployment pouch. Compass, which is in that. There's another one in the survival kit there. Spare batteries. Just a couple of quick Hawkins bars. Nothing too serious this time. It's got a separate or a second pouch here. This is my fire starting kit. All right, so it's got many ways to start a fire. It's probably overkill, to be honest. And that fits nicely in this pouch here. Now again, these side pouches here, they're attached. These 2 pouches and the rapid deployment pack actually come with the Paratus 3-day operators pack. This is my cook kit, and this is pretty big. My cook kit is. This gives you an idea how large this side pocket is. So it's not deep enough for, now let me stretch here. It's not deep enough for what I would generally carry a clean canteen, as you can see. So, but I threw my cook kit in here, and as you've seen, I just threw a smart water bottle in there. But this is, inside here it has the solo stove and the complete cook kit that I take out with me every time. Just some gloves right there. And then this one, I just throw them in my, just a simple first aid kit. That's it. That's all I brought today as far as this pack. I do want to run a little over a couple of, let me move this thing here. Over a couple of options for you. So in the wintertime, as I said, I wouldn't have this big old thing attached to it. That's kind of a pain, but you don't want to be in a freezing situation. Here's Eno makes an under quilt for hammock. I prefer the snug pack just because it's a little smaller. I can fit it in the pack a little easier. I could get a compression sack for that if I needed to. But I wanted to show you, as far as the an option if you do want to carry the water bottle or the 40-ounce clean canteen. I've done this in the past as well. I remove this pouch and attach. I'll put links to this below. I don't really remember what they cost. I have the this is another clean canteen, 40-ounce. Of course, I have the GSI cup, which is always a pain to get out of these things. As you can see, these are well used, but the GSI cup, scrub pad in the bottom of it, clean canteen, gives you, you can cook with it, boil water with it. It's been through all of that. Now this isn't the one that I generally have, this is green. The one that I have on my regular pack is black, but inside here, this is going to be empty right now, but I would have fire starting and utensils, that type of thing, titanium fork and spoon, and this gives you just an option in case you really want to have the 40-ounce clean canteen. This is your option with an additional purchase. It doesn't come with this, but that's what I did because I wanted this, and then I would put my solo stove cook kit in there, in this one. So that's one of the options there. But I'm gonna close this up real quick. Like I said, what I was saying is this is really decent material in here. I don't know what this is, some type of, it's kind of like, it reminds me of the inside of a decent suitcase that you might take on a trip in a motel. But it's got a nice slot right here that you can throw a hydration pack into. It's got the hydration hole right there for your hose, your tube. I don't generally use hydration. I have them, but this has a nice little pocket here for organization. It's pretty deep, the front pocket. Coming down pretty good, so hopefully you can still hear me. It comes with a couple of patches. I believe it comes with a plastic US flag and then the 3V logo. I don't know what I did with those, but these are my own little morale patches with my Next Step Survival patch. And I'm not going to take this off right now, but this does have the waist straps. It's tucked into the back. So when you take this off, you can throw it over your shoulder or go around. It has the waistband on there. Let me get my cord all wrapped up in this thing. And it's got decent straps on there. They're padded. I mean, it's not what you generally purchase if you were just, you know, like a serious backpacker. Oh, I've got my SE4 on here, but it's got the real nice clips on there. It's got the sternum strap. One thing I like about the sternum strap is it has some give to it. It's got an elastic piece right here, and it gives you a little nice movement without having to choke or, you know, choke your chest there, if that makes sense. There's no drainage holes in the bottom. That's something that I might have done if I was designing it. But it does have these attachments right here. They don't have any in the back. But you could strap maybe sleeping pad or something to the bottom of that. And that's about it. I mean, the backing is pretty, it's rubberized, and I haven't had any issues. And I pack these sometimes to where it starts to feel rounded, and that pulls it away from your back. So then I rearrange it and make it as flat as possible so that it's not so round, you know, it's not pushing on one area of your back. But this is actually a pretty comfortable pack. I've not had any issues whatsoever, like I said, in the last 2 years, with the straps, the seams, anything. You know, like I said, about the only drawbacks to it that I can think of are this particular set of webbing Molly here. And everything else is pretty sweet. This actually has Velcro right here. This is like a unique setup. So I haven't had any of these fall off either, by the way. And that's about it. It's a decent option. I ended up replacing this with a 511 Rush 72, and quite a bit more expensive bag, very durable, high end in my world, cheaper than maybe a Maxpedition, but it's a decent bag. And honestly, I can get everything from that bag into this bag with no problem. So I'm not getting any more in the Rush 72 than I can get into the Paratus 72-hour operator's pack. So I think 3V did a fine job on this bag, and if you're looking for high quality at a decent price, this pack may be something that you want to look at. It's got a decent grab handle on there. I've had this attached to many a tree just with this grab handle. So throw it up over a branch, or I carry bungees. Every time I go out here, these heavy duty bungees, and generally one of the first thing I do, rather than throw it in the leaves like I did today, but it's pouring down rain, I would find, if it was dry, this would be strapped up to a tree. So, all right, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll get back with you as quick as I can. Brian Hawkins, Next Step Survival. We'll see you. Bye now.